Here's a super easy way to edit your Valorant clips so they can go from this
One enemy remaining.
to this.
One enemy remaining.
Let's talk about it. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's KillerMiller, and today I'm bringing you guys a little bit different of a video, and I just wanted to talk about how to edit clips in a editing software, specifically using Adobe for TikTok. A lot of people don't really know how to properly edit clips. They just kind of upload it, and it's just like partially that little black background. But I just want to show you guys a way to do it that's very, very easy to do, but it gives your clips a little bit more kick, makes them look a little better. And you also just get to kind of throw in some more sections of what you want, whether it's like minimap, kill feed, whatever you want. So that's kind of all I wanted to go to, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So first and foremost, when you get your thing set up, we're going to talk about the sequence. This is the little clip I have, by the way. It's just a little two-piece I got in like a ranked game. And I'll just show you how to edit this and make it look way better. So first thing you want to do is hop over here to sequence. So TikTok obviously is not just the typical 1920 1080 where it's like the widescreen 16:9. It's literally just in reverse. So if you go to the top, hit sequence settings, or 1280 720, either way. You literally just need to reverse whichever ones of these two are here. So mine's 1280 720, so I'm going to reverse that to 720 by 1280. And that is going to completely reverse it into 9:16. Just hit OK with whatever pops up. And now this is our new little workspace. This is what you likely see whenever you see on TikTok. So now we just need to go from here and edit this forward. So first things first, you got to come down to your clip and make sure you right click it and click unlink. So what this is going to do, whenever you forced drag clips into your timeline, that's what this part here is called. It links them together just because the audios are up in the same spot. So there's probably a better way to do this, by the way, but I just like Control-C, Control-V, and literally just copy it over. I do it 3 times, and I'll explain that why in a minute. So now we have 3 of the same clip at the beginning. So now what we're going to do with this is what I like to edit in my clips if I ever upload them is, first of all, you have the actual clip that you can see. And then you have behind that is the edited background. Third part of that is either minimap or kill feed, more than likely kill feed, in your section there. So whenever you select a clip, there's multiple ways you could do this. You can either just double click on the clip, or you can come over here, which is what we're going to do on this left side where everything is selected over here, and using the scale selection over here, just make one of the sections bigger. So if you double click, it's actually it's like easier just to see it out how you want it to look usually, but it's going to select one of the 3 random ones. So we want to start with this bottom one because this is the one that's going to be under the rest. So we're literally going to grab this and we're just going to scale it up until all that black space is gone. All that's going to do is just make sure that there is an actual set background for the clip. So from there, we actually are going to, now that we have these 2 clips overlapping, we need to blur out that bottom one. You don't want it to look the same because that just kind of looks funky, as you can see. We don't really want that. We want that bottom one to be shown, and it's the same like movements, but not quite the same. So we're gonna go down here to video, or not video transitions. I actually just like to type in blur because it's over here and blurs, and instead of having to go into all these settings and find it, you just type it in. I like to just grab a fast blur in or out. It doesn't really matter because whenever you use it, it's the way these fast blur in or outs are used is that it actually will make it start off regular and then blur into it, or it'll start off blurred and come into a clear like image. Literally all you need to do is once you do that, up here in this right section, you're gonna have these keyframes. These are how that blur works. Keyframes basically set it to where it's like it starts off at a certain point, and then it jumps into it, etc. So just delete these. You're gonna see these 2 little dots. Just click them both, click delete, boom. Now our clip is not blurred yet because we haven't actually set it to do anything, and then we just want to up this. And this is what you can edit this to whatever you want. I like to put it at about 18, maybe even 15, something like that. Doesn't really matter. That's all up to you. And now, as we can see, looking pretty good already. The bottom clip is already fully blurred out, and that's kind of what you want. So that's that. That's going to be a good start for that. Next thing we need to do is actually scale up the second part of the clip to what we want. And so what I mean by this is the size. What do we want it to look like? Do we like it where it is? I like to scale mine up a little more to about here. I like to have my abilities kind of touching together, and I'm going to actually disable this one for now just so we can see it. And so now this is what the actual thing will look like much more. So now it's just zoomed in a little bit because keep in mind you are on a phone. If this is zoomed out too much or the regular size, it's just kind of awkward to look at. But if we scale it up a little bit, much easier to see, much more convenient to look at, and you still can see the blur in the background. Still looks kind of good. So now our clip already looks pretty good. You can kind of use this to your advantage if you'd like, or you could just keep it how it is. But this next part is a bit more advanced. It's still easy to do. However, it is a bit more in depth and takes a bit more time to actually properly do. So let's talk about that's going to be masking. So what masking is it literally takes a specific part of the image or clip, whichever one you want to use, and only shows a specific part of that. So what we're going to use that for is the kill feed. So if you come over here on the top left under edit and effect controls, by the way, that's where the things were for the old part of this. I didn't actually bring that up, so my bad on that. You're going to see this is where the motion stuff is. That's where you can adjust your scaling. If you want to rotate it, you know, left, right, move it around, all that good stuff. Below that is going to be the mask. And with these, we can select either a circular mask, which is just usually I use that for the mini map if I ever want to include that, or a 4-point polygon mask, which you can basically map it however you want. Make a trapezoid, make a square, which we'll use, whatever you want. So click on this and make sure you're actually hovering your top clip, because if you're clicking on any of these, it's going to actually use that one. And so what I mean by that, let's say we're hovering this one. Now our background's gone because it's trying to mask the background. And you can kind of see how it works if you move this around. See how it like kind of masks in part of that? That's what we're going to use for this top clip right here. So let's click on that, mask it in, boom. So the thing that's interesting about this is you're going to actually have to drag over part of the clip. So before you add the mask in, let's drag this. And this is where I double click. This is actually where it's convenient to do this because you're going to want to see like what size you're going to want. And obviously it's going to be all over the screen. That's totally fine. You'll be able to adjust that in a minute. So once we get this kill feed to where we like, I like to have both the kills pop up. So it's like, all right, now we know what we're working with. Do I want this kill feed to be a little bigger? I personally do. So I'm going to actually drag this out. Maybe not this big. And I'm going to put this at the top of our video. So like right there, now we have a good little section of how big we want it. So now we'll click on the mask. It usually brings it over to the side. So be careful scaling your video too big before you put the mask in. Because as you saw, it was like way over here. If you scale the video too big, it'll be like off the screen. You can't really grab it and you have to move it around. And it's really chaotic. So now that we have our mask, we need to adjust it. So you can literally just drag these little sections out and make it as big as you need. This gets a bit interesting. I'm sure there's a better way to do this from a perspective of like making it more flush. I just drag it though. It doesn't really matter. You just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't really need to be that specific. Whatever, bada boom. Edit all that in. And drag it up an inch. Perfect. All right, so now this is our mask that we have. And so what you can also do with this, I like to personally bring the feather down to 0. What the feather does is just make it a little blurry on the edges. Kind of blurs it into the video a little more. If you'd like that, go for it. I just like to have it just pure and blanked out. And that's that. And yeah, from there, we're pretty much done. All we need to do now is edit out some of this mask. As you can see, it is still masking the whole video in that section where the kill feed would be, but we don't have any kills yet. So it looks kind of awkward for now. Once we pop it up, boom. So what I like to do is drag back the timeline to right before where that kill popped up, right about here. And right before it pops up, we can just edit. We can grab the razor tool over here or just press the C button and clip out that section of it that we don't need. Bada boom. Now the kill pops up. We get that one. Second kill pops up. Perfect. All right, so now, there you go. That's pretty much all you need. All these things that you needed to do, pull up our clip very simply, and now we have a much better looking clip. So we went from just the very basic nothing clip of just having just a black screen and like look kind of awkward zoomed in, to now where we have a nicer looking clip. It's zoomed in better. We have the kill feed popping up and all this good stuff. And nice, that's pretty much all it takes. By the way, real quick, I wanted to talk about presets. If you ever find yourself editing multiple clips, it's very important that you set some presets in here. So what I mean by this is if you come up here to where these little sections are, and you can right click on these and hit save a preset. So right now, this blur is what we have set up. Instead of having to come in here and delete the keyframes multiple times, or instead of having to, you know, set the blurriness multiple times, you can literally right click, hit save a preset and name it. Let's just name it clip blur. So boom, now we have that. So now whenever you're over here in the effects channel, and you go over to presets, you can see I have a bunch of them saved. You actually already preset have that saved. So what I can just do, let's say this clip wasn't here, or let's say I needed to blur this out now. I just deleted the last one. All you need to do is come over here, drop down the presets, come to the clip blur, drag and drop, boom, it's done. And you can also do that with the scaling if you want. The scaling is super easy to do, so I don't ever really worry about presetting that. However, if you're ever doing it kind of awkwardly, or setting it for multiple things, you can find that very beneficial. One of the most beneficial things I find it for is the mask. You kind of saw all the work I had to do, which it wasn't a lot, but it was a little bit. You kind of saw all the work though, where you have to come up in here and like move the clip around and then add the mask, all that good stuff. And if you want to preset that mask, that can make that look a little bit better. So yeah, pretty much that's gonna be it for y'all. Thank you for watching. Hope this was beneficial. I just think this is really easy just to make these clips look a little better. I hate whenever I see really nice clips on TikTok, but unfortunately the person just didn't really have a great way to edit them or know how to. So this is a super easy way to do that, and I figured it would be really good for just some people to know. So that's gonna be all. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.